is Call My Bluff with the old twister, Frank Muir.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Now, both my guests are old hands at this game. They are tried bluffists and dispensers of truisms. And it gives me particular pleasure to introduce my first guest as Hannah Gordon. And really, I suppose, almost as much pleasure to announce my second guest, Tim Rice.
If I may utter a truism, game as pheasants, Arthur Marshall.
Good evening. It's always very jolly and stimulating when we have a newcomer on Call My Bluff, and tonight we have two. I sometimes think the BBC has a monopoly of charming news readers, and who could be more charming than Moira Stewart? And on my right, so well remembered for that wonderful performance in The Jewel in the Crown, Charles Dance.
Right, so the pleasantries being over, the battle commences, and we get the first word. Good enough one, I should think. Buggy Shank is the way I pronounce it. Frank and his team will define Buggy Shank 3 different ways. 2 of them are no good, duds, but one's all right, and that's the one that Arthur and co try and pick out. So, Buggy Shank, Frank.
Boogie Shank.
Oh, I knew it would be.
Boogie Shank. I'm going to fix my way with a glittering eye. Boogie Shank is, in fact, a mildly alcoholic drink from the Caribbean, which has one extraordinary characteristic, a wonderful characteristic. You can make it for yourself for nothing. What you do is you get a recently emptied, recently drunk barrel which has had rum in it, and you pour in about a quart of water, and you swish it around, and you leave it for a day or so. Anybody to Boogie Shank?
Yes. Well then, now let's apply to Tim Rice.
Come back with me to the wide open prairies of America in the 19th century, cowboy time, when there was an awful lot of prairie to be ploughed, and a buggy shank was what they ploughed it with. It was a very wide horse harrow, not a harrow for wide horses, but a harrow that was wide, pulled by horses, and sometimes they would link a lot of horses in tandem, or is it in parallel? Either way, it's not that interesting, but they would... In series. They would have as many as 5 horses across, pulling said buggy shank, which meant you could plough 15 yards at once, which was an awful lot of prairie.
Pretty technical stuff. Yep. Hannah?
Buggy shank was a trimming made of white lamb's wool, and it was used on the robes, very rich robes in medieval times. In 1464, a citizen of York actually bequeathed a robe trimmed with this particular fur, lamb's wool. And I would like to quote, because the will was written in Latin, and I would like to quote what he said in his will: Togam nigram penulatam cum bogus hanki.
Thank you for nothing.
It was a pleasure.
Well, they say it's a horse harrow. It's a Caribbean drink, and it's especially special sort of fur trimming. And so Arthur has to make a choice of one of those.
Hold on a tick.
I rein myself in, Arthur.
Yes.
We're more or less agreed over here. Isn't that exciting? Frank, we had a rum barrel quite recently in this game. But not in sort of connection of swilling it round with water and making... I didn't quite take to that. I was nearly taken in, I may have been completely taken in by all that Latin and 1464 and lamb's trimming, but on the whole, I think this cowboy harrow with 5 horses abreast or whatever it was seems, we think, the most likely.
Ah, right, well, it was Tim Rice who said it. True or bluff? Nothing, oh, no. No, you made all that up. That was all my eye. Who gave the true definition of buggy shank, boogie shank? Call it what you will.
It was that.
There. And indeed, it's the fur that they use for trimming, gowns and such. Tattoo. Tattoo, yes, is the next one. Arthur.
The tattoo is the Red Indian name for a wild American plum tree. But why tattoo? Because it is of such tremendous sweetness that American children refer to it as the toothache tree, because very often they take a munch of tattoo and a cavity, a dainty cavity is discovered, overlooked by the dentist, and they get a sharp twinge of pain because of the extreme sweetness of the tattoo.
All right. Now, let's see what Charles Dance tells us.
Well, if you're strolling through a Devonshire country lane on a warm summer afternoon, you should not be alarmed if you hear the cry, "Tattoo! Tattoo!" because it is one of the many cries used by West Country farmers to call cows and sheep and pigs back to the farm. However, you might be interested to know that chickens and ducks and geese and all manner of poultry do not respond to tattoo. They only come back if you say, "Come on, come on."
Well, they would, wouldn't they? Yes. Moira, it's your turn.
Let me take you to southern India, and it's frequently astride a tattoo that a Maratha housewife sets about going to her shopping. And it's a tattoo is in fact a smallish pony, 12 hands high, bred in southern India, which Marathan families use instead of a car.
Right. This is what they say they are. The definitions are a wild plum tree, a little pony, and the cry of a Devonshire farmer. And Frank may choose.
Transparently obvious. I will deal with them one by one, my lord. A small pony sounds interesting, or the Red Indian plum. Do many wild things grow sweet, very sweet? I thought they grew bitter more than sweet, as in the apple yclept crab. I mean, it is a bitter thing. And the West Country farmer's call is obviously to line up with pig hooey, the call that you remember of Lord Emsworth.
Indeed.
Pig hooey! So we'll go for that as the West Country cry.
The cry of the West Country farmer, Charles Dance said it. True or bluff?
Not a lot of confidence, but...
Well, let's see. It's there somewhere. Yes. They shout quite different things. But who gave the true definition of tattoo?
It was the dog.
Yes. It's the tiny, useful little pony. That's
Glad
what it
you
is.
won.
And Twiscar is the next word. Tim.
The Twiscar is an all-purpose almanac of a very primitive kind. It was a round, circular thing with various lines on it, a bit like a primitive slide rule. And it was known as such, and at its peak in popularity, if Twiscars and things like that can be popular, in the time of Henry V, Part 1, which would be about the beginning of the 15th century, I think. So it's a navigational aid. It could do almost anything, but a kind of 15th century almanac.
Right. So, now it's Hannah's turn.
A twisker is that with which a Shetland Islander cuts his peat to make his fires burn. And it's a kind of spade, in other words. And it's an L-shaped spade, so that when he cuts into the peat, he can cut beautifully brick-shaped chunks of peat, so that he can pile them up outside his house, all nice and tidy. Twisker.
Mm-hmm. Now, Frank.
If any of you have got a degree in Pakistani metallurgy, I'm a dead duck. Because you know instantly whether what I'm saying is true or false. Because I say that Twiscar is it's one of those sort of rather phony alloys, like pinchbeck. But whereas pinchbeck in England was meant to look like gold, Twiscar is meant to look like silver. And it's an alloy of tin and zinc, which the Pakistani metal beaters make into rather boring artifacts and sell back to us things like little perforated boxes to keep sweetmeats in and coffin handles and tea caddies and earrings. I can go on for quite a long time. That's what
Oh,
it is.
thank you,
Jolly
Frank.
A genteel sufficiency there, Frank.
Cela
Thank you.
suffit.
And so it's an alloy used for making these soi-disant ornamental things, an almanac and a peat cutter. Charles, his choice.
Just a minute.
These mock conferences.
Right. I shall dismiss Frank's silver-like alloy used for rather strange objects.
soon?
I'm afraid so. And Hannah's peat cutter, I'm not too sure about. And I think I'm going to go for Tim's 15th century almanac, or navigational aid.
Yes, he did say that. True or bluff, Tim Rice? Own up. Yeah. No, you're just pulling your leg there. Who gave the true definition of twist car? Must be one of the others. There it is. A twist car is a peat cutter. That's what it is. And the next word is scoof, and Charles Dance will tell you about it.
Well, not many people know this, but corn merchants grade husks of corn into 3 different grades of quality. The finest quality is pollard, the second quality is scoof, and the third rough quality of husk is called shorts and sharps. And you wouldn't find that in your breakfast muesli, I hope.
Find everything else.
How very
Sweeping to
true.
the stable.
Oh, how very true. Yes. Moira, your turn.
A scoof is a circular tarpaulin with a hole in the middle, and it's used by trawlermen. They spread it, by the way, over the upper deck, over the hatch in the upper deck, and it's used by them to channel stranded fish down the hole into the hatch.
Oh,
Good
well,
idea.
yes. And now, Arturo, your go.
A scoof was a primitive racket used in the game of tennis. How so, you ask? I explain. Not tennis as played at Wimbledon, but the real tennis as played by Cardinal Wolsey at Hampton Court. When you think of racket, scoof really is rather more of a wooden bat, rather like a large ping-pong bat, really.
Okay, it's a tennis racket, allegedly. Second class of corn husk and a tarpaulin with a hole in the middle for fish purposes. So, Tim, your choice.
We are unanimous in that none of us have a clue. I have once played real tennis, not with Cardinal Wolsey or whoever it was you mentioned, but at Lord's Cricket Ground, and I don't remember playing with a scoof. But it was a long time ago. I remember the score, but I can't remember what I played with. But I don't think it's a real tennis implement. I think neither is it a fish-catching thing. It's too like scoop. I will go for Charles's load of corn.
Was it a load of corn or was it not? He owns up now, true or bluff? No. Load of corn in a sense, but not the true one. Who gave the true definition? It's there somewhere, I know it is. There. Arthur, you produced it as though you were striking like a cobra there. But yes, indeed, you're right, it's a tennis racket used in real tennis, or royal tennis. Solander is our next word, and Hannah, it's your turn.
So, or SO, was the name given by the Vikings to the North Atlantic island, which later became known as Greenland. So, in other words, Solanders were people from Greenland, Greenlanders. Solander.
Neat as you please, yes? Frank Muir's turn.
I thought of going on a bit, rather. A duvet could be a Solander, but it isn't. Because a Solander is like a duvet or an eiderdown, except that it's not filled with down plucked from the back of an eider, or from its tummy, wherever you get it from. but it's filled with goose feathers. And it comes in Old Curiosity Shop by Charles Dickens.
By whom?
It's a novelist called Charles Dickens. And Little Nell, you will recall, Arthur, you should.
Yes.
Little Nell wrapped herself in a solander or solander while she was awaiting her ne'er apostrophe do well and spendthrift brother Fred.
Could I have that name again?
Yes. He had a sort of temporary vogue, Arthur, you know, did Dickens. Now, Tim.
Botanists among you will instantly realise that a solander is something that you put your specimens in after a nature ramble. You couldn't take home a redwood tree in it because it's a fairly small box, rather delicately designed to look like a book. And it was called a solander after the famous Swedish botanist Solander. His first name escapes me. But he died in 1782 and therefore wound up in a little box of his own.
Yes.
An amusing touch is always welcome.
I like it, yes. The hint of the inverted comma, always welcome, as you say, Frank. Well, it's a little tiny box used by botanists. It's a sort of eiderdown, but it's not made out of the eider. And it's a Greenlander, an inhabitant of Greenland. Moira's choice.
Moira, my girl.
But it's up to you.
Frank, I think you're leading me astray. I'm very, very taken with your goose
Wood.
quilt. However, Hannah's Greenlanders strike somewhat truly, yes. Tim, your botanist box, definitely. No, if it's not big enough for a redwood tree, definitely not interested. So I shall plump for Frank. And his
How apt that she should plump for an eiderdown. Oh, what pleasant. True or bluff, Frank?
If a woman's so devious.
Looks pleased. Oh, yes. That was all my eye again. Who gave the true definition? Here it comes. Yea, verily. Little tiny box, botanist, keeps specimens within. Now we have, well, bulgine, I have no real idea. Moira.
It's in fact a bulgine, which, like Puffer or Puffing Billy, is the nickname for a steam locomotive, the sort of train which nowadays, alas, we do not see on our railways. It's an American term, and there's an old American folk song which I will not sing. The opening lines begin, "Clear the track, the bulgines are coming."
If you'd have been Frank, you'd have sung it, but there, happily, you are not. But now it's Arthur's turn. Yep.
The correct pronunciation of this, and I'm going to try and get it right, is Bulgine.
Oh, it's
Can you tell what country I'm
Mongolia.
in? Bulgine. You must get it. Australia.
Never.
Because Bulgine is a suburb of Melbourne, and it's famous for having very, very fine earth soil, which is much in demand for cricket pitches. But I'm sorry to tell you that the soil gets very soggy when it rains, and it's due to an excess of bulgine on the pitch that we lost the second test match in 1950.
How well Arthur realises that accents like garlic should be used sparingly, and he did. What an example to all of us. Charles, your turn.
Right, Bulgine are in fact a nomadic tribe who roam around the area between the Nile and the Red Sea. They are believed to be of Hamitic origin, and they were immortalised by Kipling as fuzzy wuzzies after they made so bold as to break a British square at the Battle of Tamai in 1884.
Right, they say, then, that these definitions are as follows. We have the nomadic tribe, the special sort of soil, and the steam locomotive. And Hannah makes her choice.
I'm going to start with Arthur because I thought his Australian accent was so good that it should be him that we started with.
Thank you, dear.
The test match in 1950. Well, I'd like to think about that for the moment. Charles's Fuzzy Wuzzies. No, I don't think it's that. So I'm just going to say no, it's move on. Now, I saw Starlight Express quite recently, and I don't remember any steam trains in that with a name like Bulgini or Bulgini. So I think, after all is said and done, it was Arthur.
With his hint of the Australian. Was it true, or was it bluff,
He
Arthur?
wouldn't lie to you.
Oh, he wouldn't, would he?
Oh, yes. Beware Arthur when he adopts an accent, I suspect. Who gave the true definition? We need to know the true definition of bulgin. Yay. Bulgin or bulgine certainly was, or is, well, it can't be is, can it? No, was a steam locomotive. Let's have a look at another word, trumbash, or trumbash. Don't know. Frank?
In the British Merchant Service, you get a lot of rubbish on board. I don't mean just passengers. I mean, a ship, the life of a ship generates a certain amount of rubbish. And when it's food, it's usually called gash, and there's a gash bucket. And when it's not food, but old rope ends or retired captains or something, then it's called ullage. But in the American Merchant Navy, trumbash. That's your word.
If so, we generate a certain amount of trumbash on this programme, I think everyone would agree. Tim, your turn.
Well, trumbash is the kind of thing you don't want to meet in a hurry, or at least if the trumbash is in a hurry, because it's a particularly vicious kind of boomerang, not the sort of boomerang that Charlie Drake immortalised in his 1960 hit record, My Boomerang Won't Come Back, because that was an Australian boomerang. This is a Sudanese boomerang, and it was hurled viciously by militiamen from the Sudan, and if it hit you, you knew about it.
Right. So, let's ask Hannah Gordon now.
Well, in the private language of thieves and vagabonds in the 18th century, trumbash was the accepted word for stolen or contraband silk. And the word is presumed to come originally from the Persian place name, which was Tarumbasha, which was a coastal town in the Gulf of Oman, where a lot of silk was exported to other places from. I
Right.
think.
They say it's this kind of contraband or stolen silk. It's a vicious boomerang, and it's rubbish on ships. And Arthur makes his choice.
Arthur, the man said.
Yes, it's 2-1 over here. 18th century stolen silk with that Persian town. It doesn't sound... That special name for stolen silk sounds so awfully peculiar and strange. The Sudanese boomerang sounded perfectly awful. And of course it could be it. But on the whole, dear old Frank's ullage, American ship's ullage, trumbash, I think it's Frank.
Really? Is it Frank? True or bluff? Frank, you said it.
Very well.
No. Who gave the true definition of trumbash? Someone did.
Oh, it was.
Well done. Yes, trumbash is indeed that rather vicious boomerang. Let's have another word. Mini is the next word. Arthur's turn to define. Mini.
Mini, forgive me, mini is what one might call a rogue marble at the, at the game of marbles. That is to say, it's a marble that is not perfectly spherical and bounces and hops about in the most unpredictable manner. A rogue marble.
A rogue marble, you say? Let's see what Charles Dance tells us.
Well, to minnie is a North Country pastoral verb to describe the act of motherly love given by a sheep to her poor little lamb. So if you were a little lamb in a cold, windy field in Yorkshire, Your mother might say to you, don't sit there bleating on your own, come and have a mini.
I just feel you're entitled to do an accent, Charles. I just feel that. Moira, it's your go.
But Minnie with a capital M is, as I'm sure you've guessed, an American nickname for someone born and bred in the northern state of Minnesota. And I'm reliably informed that back in 1928 there were 18,728,802 Minnies in Minnesota.
They say it is a misshapen marble, a native of Minnesota, and of a ewe, motherly. Motherly of a ewe. Yes, Frank.
Oh, yes, very interesting, very fascinating. Now, right, now hear me. Now hear this. The population of America is only 100 million.
If you hurry up, we might get another word in.
I
don't know whether you want one.
So
But I know what
it
a
can't be
sport
that.
you are.
Your figure was too high for the population of Minnesota. Rogue marbles you wouldn't play with, you throw away, surely. So it must be the sheep. Minnehaha. A funny one.
Well, Charles said that. True or bluff, Charles? Own up. Well done.
Never mind.
It means the display of motherly affection given by the ewe to her young. Now, this is our last word. It's bibbles, and it's Tim's comfortable time to do it in.
Oh, really?
Well, comfortable. You're wasting it already.
Well, apples is what bibbles is or are. They're rather grotty apples that aren't really worth picking up off of the ground. So they are just scooped up or left for pigs.
Right, Hannah.
It's the sort of heebie-jeebies that you get, well, that one might get when you drink too much, and the sort of apparitions and strange manifestations that you might see when you had drunk a great deal. Bibbles.
Right, now it's Frank, yours go.
Coal miners' term for strata of clay, which probably contain water. Not good.
No. So it's imaginary thingies you might see if you were drunk. Impervious stratum of clay full of water, and tiny little apples not worth picking up. So Charles's choice.
I think it's Tim's grotty apples.
How very decisive. Was it true though, Tim? Or were you teasing? No. It wasn't anything to do with apples. It was to do with one of the other definitions. But which? Here it comes.
Mine.
Yes. It is the impervious stratum of clay of which Frank so glowingly spoke. And there, well, we've come to the end of the game. 3-6. It's quite clear that Frank Muir's team has won. Spare a kindly glance to the losers. There they are. Don't patronize. So we'll have some more duds from the Oxford English Dictionary next time. Till then, goodbye from Tim Rice, Charles Dance, Hannah Gordon, Moira Stewart, Frank Muir, and Arthur Marshall. Goodbye.